And we're on. Okay. Sorry I'm looking this way, but my computer is this way. So if you didn't know, I first of all, welcome to Diving Deep. I am so sorry. I wanted to preface this that I am trying out this program I've used before, but I've never recorded on this platform called Riverside FM. And I got it simply because it's going to make my interviewing process a lot easier and possible because I'm able to interview people. Like, for example, I'm going to be in my own home and they're going to be in their own home. And in the future, if and when I do in person interviews, then, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Um, but yeah, so I'm like, okay, I better get the hang of this program sooner than later. And I'm going to be utilizing it for a lot of stuff. So, yes. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know what the sound is going to be like. I don't know how to connect. Like, for example, when I record on my regular recording software, I normally have my intro pre-recorded and then I record over that track or along in that same track but on another line. And then I have, when you go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, like when you listen to my podcast, you'll hear the intro and then you'll hear the actual episode. And so I don't know how to do this yet here, so we're going to play it by ear, but I would like to in the future have an intro connected to this, because now with this video is going to have my mic audio versus when I was recording on my recording software. I didn't have the mic audio connected and the video, so I've only been uploading audio 99% of the time to my podcast platforms. But long story short, I want to have this on YouTube. I want to have these episodes available on Patreon. And yeah, just start really getting serious about my craft, right? So anyway, with that being said, guys, enough ranting about what the fuck I'm doing. It's your girl, Llesca Cristal. This is the podcast Diving Deep with Llesca. And basically, yeah, we cover topics of all kinds. If you listen to my earlier episodes, my show has evolved, but essentially it's a place where we can talk about things that help us. Like when I think of younger me or a person without tools to help themselves and a person that's undergone a lot of trauma in childhood, in young adulthood, and regular adulthood, and when not having, navigating the world without any tools or knowledge, growing up in a Mexican household and machismo is a thing and nobody, poverty. So that's how I grew up, with nothing to go off, and then just started my spiritual journey about 6 years ago now, and I haven't looked back since. So anyway, I do have an update for the ebook. My ebook is going to be named after Manifest an Aligned Relationship. Because originally the series and everything had been called Manifest Your Dream Relationship, but I figured it just didn't quite feel right. I felt like it made it sound too woo-woo, and while a dream relationship is possible and everything, I wanted to feel more attainable for sure, because I feel like when we think of a dream relationship, like especially with nowadays, um, it's like, yeah, where the fuck are these people, right? Or how the fuck does that happen? Like this person this or that person that. It's just so hard these days. La 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 la. So there's like a lot of rhetoric around that, and I just wanted to make this feel like anybody can do it, which anybody can. And in the sense of an aligned relationship, when you think about that word align, it does require some consciousness, some conscious thought, and work. Because when you think of align, it doesn't really fall in your lap sometimes. When I think of aligned, I'm like, okay, if I'm not used to this, or I haven't had this, or I don't know how, blah, 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 like I must align myself to get these things that I want or level up, etc., like my goals, my manifestations, ways of living, you know what I mean? So I felt like that was a much more adequate title. So the ebook Manifest an Aligned Relationship, that will be coming out December 31st. So we have an official date. And I know everybody's gonna be busy like drinking and shit, but well, a lot of people, a lot of y'all, because I won't be, sadly, unless baby comes before then. But anyway, uh, but yeah, but I was like, it doesn't matter. It'll reach who it needs to reach. And if you're the type of person that likes to grow and up level and also create a better life in your partnership, or you're looking to call in a good partner, this is going to be on your radar regardless. So December 31st is when I'll have this free ebook for download, and I believe I'll have it on my link tree to download. So it's just going to be like a PDF download type shit. But so that's the news and update for that. I'm working on dates to start interviewing people. I am a little nervous because I'm on my last weeks before baby's here. So I'm like, should I try to cram in everything before baby is here? Or do I think I can do like an interview every like couple of weeks? I'm not sure. I'm thinking about that one. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I have the energy to do yet. But if I can get some in this month so I can space them out over the next few months, I will definitely do that. And of course, you guys will know when I have somebody coming up because I will announce it. And if you follow me on socials, you'll know. So, those are the updates I have for you guys. Today, it's going to be kind of like a short and sweet kind of talk. And if I sound out of breath, is because I am. I'm struggling to breathe these days, thanks to baby. Oh God. Um. Anyway, so I was thinking of. I have some notes here. I was thinking of how. I don't know if you guys have seen those videos like on TikTok or Instagram, where they say put a finger up, and then there's another version where it's like couples versions where they say who is the cleanest, or who is a night owl, or who says sorry first, who's the one that always says sorry first, or whatever. And that one is one that sticks to me. Who's the one that says sorry first in a relationship? And there's usually like one person, and usually they both point to that person because it's very clear. um, but I wanted to talk on that because I feel like in general, when we think of saying sorry or apologizing to somebody, we're it's kind of like a shame thing, or we don't want to do it. And and then in relationship, it's very much needed to apologize when you've done something wrong, and sometimes even if it's not intentional. Being in partnership is very complex. You can hurt each other's feelings, and you're dealing with different perspectives, different core wounds. So something that you don't think is a big deal, they think it's a big deal, and vice versa. And it's not like you need to say sorry, but in the end, at the bottom line, I'm like, why is saying sorry such a like a thing people don't want to do, like a thing that you think you shouldn't do or something? Sometimes we can get a little ornery, right? And I was thinking, I'm like, you know what, when you love somebody and they love you, and you're both doing work to better each other or yourselves, and there's an open line of communication and all that, whatever, I think it's beautiful. I think I've come to really just appreciate the fact that I can say sorry for my wrongs in a relationship. And I don't remember off the top of my head if it's always been easy for me. I don't think it's always easy, because even now it's not like I want to say, um I don't know, because it's just human nature to feel a type of way when you did something wrong, right? But anyway, I'm going off on a rant now. But how working on my current relationship has just opened my eyes in new ways. And even though I've done a lot of inner work, like there's, different people bring out different parts of you, different levels, different things, because everybody's different, right? And um yeah, I've just come to really appreciate the fact that I'm in a place that I can do that, because how beautiful it is to know that you're putting a step forward into repairing something. And while we can't be completely egoless, because that our ego will pop up here and there, our pride, our defensiveness, etc., our coping mechanisms, when you know that you're free of that, at least, from time to time, and apologizing to your partner, knowing how much nourishment they receive from you saying sorry, right? How good does it feel when your partner in a relationship you're invested in, and then they mess up, or you spoke your needs and your wants, and then they didn't respond right away, or whatever the case may be, but then they come up and they're like, "Hey, I'm sorry." It makes you feel so seen, so validated, and it's so important and a crucial part of any relationship, because again, two different people doing the tango. If you want to make it a good relationship, an aligned relationship, a happy relationship, a safe relationship. And so when I reframe that, I'm like, you know what, it feels good to say sorry. Like, I don't, like, now, even though the fights or the what I did is nothing like crazy, right? It still feels good being able to apologize and knowing that I push my pride aside, and that my growth, because this is also for me, my growth and the love for my partner, like, that overshadows the rest, right? And I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to make your partner feel good? Whether, I don't know, you forgot some little thing, or, there's something that they have to keep reminding you about, like just little things or whatever, you know what I mean? It makes it so much more beautiful when you can repair, and a relationship without good repair is gonna lead to nowhere. Basically, that's what statistics show, or the new studies show, you know what I mean, that the biggest thing in a relationship is not like how good you get along, or how much you have in common, or the, whatever miscellaneous. It's how well you repair after an argument, disagreement, etc. And I'm like, that's so true, because um again, we're not perfect, but if you show each other that you care and that you're willing to show up differently, you're willing to listen and try to understand, even if you don't understand, try to understand, that makes such a safe space for, your inner child, because essentially a lot of those fears come from your inner child and your feelings and everything. So thinking about that, I'm like, you know what? This is nice. And this is not to condone a one-sided relationship, so do not come at me. It's also not good for anybody to be the only one saying sorry. If there's one person that is always saying sorry and never the other person, there's something wrong there. Because no matter who you are, we all make mistakes. We all fuck up. We all unintentionally hurt each other's feelings. We forget things. We change and evolve. Our likes or dislikes change. So what might have been okay in the past is not okay anymore. And all these nuances, right? So for there to be a relationship with where only one person says sorry, there's a serious problem there, and definitely needs to be talked about. So I'm not condoning one-sided relationships where, you know, you're the only one saying sorry, because yeah, if you're the only one saying sorry, all the time, yeah, that's not good. That's not going to feel good, and it's not sustainable. So definitely, if you find yourself in that situation, you need to be out of that situation. Whether if you've communicated it before, or because you also had to take accountability on your side, right? What am I doing? Am I not speaking my needs, or am I not asking blah 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 blah? Because yeah, part of a relationship is like, hey, bringing things up and using your voice and feeling safe to do so. But obviously that's just nuance per person, per situation and whatnot. But in the situation where it's um, a relationship where both are willing to do the work, both are putting their effort into learning about each other, into listening to each other, and working on on your own when you get upset, or your reactions, and you know what I mean, and strengthening these. Like if you're in that type of relationship, yeah, one person may say sorry a little bit more often than the other, or there may be seasons where it's one person more than the other person, but just like gauging, as long as there's a mutual respect and a mutual acknowledgement, it's not just one person. Sorry is a really important part of a relationship, and should feel good. And I feel like you will know when it's like, I don't know. I think I'm 2 years in my relationship, and we definitely we definitely went through our shit. I feel like when we moved in together, we've learned a lot about each other, and we've grown, and I can say I'm in a space where I feel very comfortable. And one thing that my sister, Nati, also helped me think about, because as a human, we have these thoughts, or if we're PMSing or pregnancy hormones, or just in general, thinking about shit. And you're like, oh, like sometimes, a little negative Nancy voice comes in my head, and I'm like, what if I'm doing this all for nothing? Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of us that are really invested in our relationships, you probably had some thoughts too. Like if you work on your shit, and if you show up in your relationship or not, like it's natural, especially if you have a history of like shitty relationship, especially if you have a history of like you didn't have your mom, or you didn't have your dad, or you had really dysfunctional family patterns, dynamics, etc. There's going to be a little voice that pops in, maybe in different iterations, different sentences, but somewhere along the lines like, hey, like, you know, what if I'm just doing this for nothing? What if this is just like all for shit, or they end up doing this, or this and this and that, or this happens, or we don't end up being together? And it was just like a really nice, beautiful reframe that she told me. She's like, you know what, sister, just remember that at the end of the day, yes, this is, for your relationship, and yes, this is good for your partner, but this is also good for you. Remember that whether you stay in this relationship or not, regardless, you're gonna have to be doing this work, right? You're gonna have to make sure that you regulate yourself when you fly off the handle, or when you get triggered, and this and this and that no matter what, each relationship is gonna present those excuse me present those present those things that need to be worked on. And yeah, working on your shit, yeah, doesn't mean you're never gonna get triggered, doesn't mean you're never gonna like lose your medulla or act a type of way, whatever. It doesn't mean that you're never going to do that. But that's why it's called a practice, when you do the inner work, like it's a practice, you anything in life that you want to be good at, or you want to be skilled at, I should say, um does take practice, you know what I mean? And so yeah, so then I really like that aspect, like, you know what, you would be working on this regardless if you were alone or in another relationship or whatever. So I'm like, you know what, yeah, that's so true. It's not a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. And so yeah, with that being said, guys, I will leave you with that message. Kind of reframe if you find it hard for yourself to say sorry. If you find yourself being the one that never says sorry, or your pride, your ego, your whatever the fuck it is that prevents you from doing that, just try to see it from your partner's eyes and know how much love they feel when they know that their pain matters, when their needs matter, when they feel how they feel more safe and cared for by the person they love, how much, like, you know what I mean? Like, think about that. And I hope that helps you if you're on the other side. And yeah, and if you both are working on things, I just it's just like a nice little way to think about it. I'm like, you know what, that feels good. Anytime you need to apologize or say sorry, or you feel like it's not that big of a deal, so you don't want to say, and it's just like, no, I don't lose anything by apologizing. It doesn't make me any less. It just helps my partner feel seen, and I get to experience more growth internally because I am confident in myself. I know my self-worth. I know what I did. And um yeah, just to know that you motherfucking got this on lock and on a good road. So yeah. Again, ebook coming out December 31st. Make sure you grab it. It's going to be pretty much like, I want to say guidebook. Yeah, like a little guidebook. It's not going to be an actual, like, full on, book, but it will have some things to really bring you back to home and remind you that it is possible to have an aligned relationship, but also that it is important to take care of your side of the fence, and also um yeah, what kind of things to have in place. And I've spoken on a few of the topics on the previous episodes, and probably will do a couple of more, but there will be more in the book included. So that's just some extra goodies for you guys. If you enjoyed today's podcast episode, if you enjoyed my randomness, um, if it helped you anyway, share this with a friend, family, whoever. Very much appreciate it. And thank you for sticking with me if you're listening all the way, and I'll catch you in the next one.